I'm actually in contact with like a Hollywood producer, and I was going over some old emails because I was going to ask his idea, like to on like a, I was going to pitch a project idea to him, which is like a really, like the project idea I'm pitching is like really small scale and like practically restricted in terms of like what it could be. But I was going over these old emails and reading over that. I was like, he was literally just saying like, "Hey, if you have any ideas, pitch them my way," sort of thing. And this is like a bit. I'm not gonna name who this is. I'm not gonna name because they've worked on um, various projects, including some movies that I've included on my top 10 of the year lists, and some movies that I've made YMS reviews on. So they have like a range of like shit that they've produced. But it was just like going over their emails earlier today because I was sending one and I saw the old shit like in the replies and I was like, wow, I should have just been writing a script the past like 3 years. That's what I should have been doing. I've been having these ideas of projects that I want to do. And if anybody wants to listen to the Sardonicast episode where we had David F. Sandberg, it was pretty revealing that like a lot of like apprehension that I have towards like breaking out and doing something like legitimate. A lot of that has to do with like, oh, I can't see that happening based on my current limitations, right? And that's unfortunately like I feel constrained internally because that's how I write things. What's practical for me to be able to do within a budget or the people that I have working on the project or like who's involved or who can I get sort of thing. And then it's like if I restrict myself like that, then everything I write just is so boring, you know? If I know that I have somebody on board that can just like throw money at something and like more importantly than throw money at something, more importantly than that is like have a network of the correct people and talent, you know, like having like, oh, here's a good production manager or something like that, you know. I think that's even more important than the financial aspect. Is like being able to have somebody that's like connected in LA or something. What I was mentioning with the David F. Sandberg guest on the podcast is like he essentially just made a short and then people approached him and then he kind of just it's not like obviously it's his vision and he you know did the script and everything, but the way he was talking about it, a lot of the shit that so many people including myself kind of like stress over and psych themselves out from, a lot of that shit was just more or less taken care of by the production company. And so it's like maybe I need to just get myself in that mindset. If I'm writing something, I almost want to have the limitations understood before I finish writing something. I want to know who I'm going to get to star in it so I know how to write the character. And that in itself is like limiting in a way. Because no reasonable person is going to agree to be a part of your project until you have a script, right? So then it's like, what do you write a script for a person that may or may not be a part of your project?